Hey, book besties. Welcome to More Than a Book Club podcast. I'm your host, Lena.
And I'm your other host, LJ. And we are so excited. Why are we so excited, Lena? Who do we have with us?
We have USA Today bestselling author Kayla Olson with us. Yay.
Hello.
Hey, and we have her books with us too.
Aww.
Yes.
And they're signed.
Yes, you guys got them early. Yeah.
The book officially comes out June 16th. So we got it a little bit early at the McKinney Literary Fest, which is where we met you.
Yes.
And
Yep.
I read it super fast. I'm not a fast physical book reader. And I think I read it in like 3 days.
Oh my
Yeah, that's
gosh.
amazing for Lena. That doesn't
Loved it.
happen.
That doesn't happen for me either. Thank you.
I started at around 5 p.m. last night, and I still have 30 pages left, but that's okay.
That's amazing. No, you're fast too. I'm a slow reader these days. And so I wish that was a skill I still had. I used to be just like such a devourer of books all the time, but I think something about like doing it as my job as both like a writer, and then I have to read all my own drafts, and then I get a lot of blurb requests to read for other people. It doesn't feel just purely fun anymore. It's just work, but it's fun work, but it's still like something in my brain is like, it's work.
Yeah.
You want to play Nintendo Switch, you know, in your free time. So
No, that
but
totally makes sense. And we're glad that you've been busy writing because that means more books for us.
yes, thank you. I'm always working on something.
I picked up The Great Outdoors at the McKinney Literary Fest, finished it, and then went to Neighbor Books and got your other two adult books, The Reunion and The Lodge. And I was so happy because you had signed all the books that were there. So I was like, yay!
Yes.
I got
I
signed
need to go get
copies.
the Lodge.
Yeah, they had a lot of good books in stock for
Yes.
me there, and they had me sign a lot of extra copies. So I'm happy they still had some for you to pick up. Hopefully there's still some. I think there probably should be. I signed a good amount.
Yeah, I'll need to go get the Lodge. It was funny because I was like, I know your name, and I recognized the cover of The Reunion. And I'm like, I think I bought that book. And I'm sitting there listening, watching you give your speech, and I am like inside my head, just like, so then I'm like, wait a minute. I think I have it from Book of the Month.
Yes.
So then I'm like Googling like what month, and then I'm having to go through my transactions because just because it came out a certain month doesn't mean that I bought it that month. But I did, and so I have it. So I'm so excited so that when I finish this, I can go read that, and then I guess I got to go to Neighbor Books and go pick up the Lodge because I already huge fan.
Thank you so much.
And she was literally doing that on her phone.
That's hilarious. Yeah, The Reunion came out in January of 2023. Then The Lodge was January 2025. And so this is my first non-January romance. But it's perfect because this is such a summer book.
Our previous episode that just came out yesterday was summer beach reads. And I was like, this is the perfect summer beach or pool read because it just hits all the right spots.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so ready. I'm ready for people to be able to read it by the pool and the beach. It feels like a long time coming. Yeah.
So how long does it take you to write a book?
Like with reading, I am slow. I like to think of myself as thoughtful rather than a slow. But I am also a bit of a perfectionist.
It's all in how you brand it.
It takes me a while these days because especially going from putting finishing touches on a novel that's about to come out, you have to be so nitpicky and just read everything with a super close eye. And I had to trim 5,000 words from The Great Outdoors at one point. It just like literally got to the point where I was like, it and is, like it. Like that tiny of detail oriented. And so to let myself be messy, to write a first draft after like immediately like transitioning from that phase of the writing process back into a messy first draft where I'm discovering the book. Messy doesn't really enter the picture for me. I just have a hard time like letting go. I edit myself before words ever get on the page, which is, a problem, but it saves me work in the long run. So all of that to say, A fast first draft for me would probably be like 4 to 6 months if that was the only thing I was focusing on. But usually it's not the only thing I'm
That
focusing
sounds
on,
fast to me.
like so
Yeah.
got cats, got a kid, got a husband. I play a lot of tennis
Mhm.
and then usually when I'm writing like it'll be at different phases. Like I'll have something else coming out. So I have a project kind of on hold right now that I'm in the middle of a
Mhm.
first draft for. And then hopefully in a couple weeks I'll resume writing. But yeah, the writing takes a long time, and then we do like several rounds of revision, which also take a long time. But the work
Yes.
always is worth it. Yeah, I wish I was like, there's parts of me that wish that I could churn out like 2 or 3 books a year. Like some authors are just so prolific; they're able to just like pour it all
Mhm.
out. And for me, I've just kind of accepted that that is not my process. Um,
I think the authors that publish every year, like, I'm just like, how do they do that? And
Yeah.
yes.
you had a book,
Yeah.
what was it? The Lodge came out in 2025, and then this one's 2026. So you're there.
Yes.
You're doing a book a year.
Well,
Yeah.
ish. I feel like The Lodge could have come out like 6 months earlier because it was done so early.
Mhm.
But it was such a wintry book. They didn't put Snowstorm in July, so I got pushed all the way to January. And because of
Yeah.
that, like, I was already working on this one in the meantime. Like, we had advanced copies of this already last October, and so,
Oh,
it was
wow.
Oh.
originally supposed to be, like, a March or April sort of release date this year, but that was me
Mhm.
trying to be a fast writer, and it just needed more time, and they already had some big
Yeah.
April and May releases, and so I got June. So, it's worked out
Nice.
exactly as it should, though. I
Mhm.
I think a
Yeah.
year and a half feels like a sweet spot.
It takes place in June, right?
Yeah, so I feel like
Oh.
that's kinda natural, and I think about that too,
Mhm.
like, when I'm planning book releases, I'm like, "I don't really wanna wait. I don't wanna do another winter book if it's, like, 2.5 years away from now." Like, what
Mhm.
season will get this out the door sooner? Um
Right?
Can you give us a little snippet, what do they call it? An elevator speech of what The Great
Oh,
Outdoors is about?
yes. Yes, and it's so burned into my brain at this point. I'm like, "Oh, I guess I could share what's in my head." So The Great Outdoors, it's about a woman who gets broken up with for being too high maintenance, and, she she loves what she loves, and she's not ashamed of that, but when her ex-boyfriend tells her, "You would just die after one day of being on this backpacking trip," she takes that as a
Mhm.
challenge. She's determined and signs herself up for a 12-night backpacking trip, even though she's definitely more of a spa and five-star resort sort of girl. I always describe it as what
Mhm.
if Elle Woods or Alexis Rose from Schitt's Creek got broken up with for being too high maintenance, signed themselves up for a backpacking trip, and then proceeded to fall in love with their hiking guide. So that is my short pitch. And I feel like it describes the book pretty well.
It does. I would say that encompasses it very well.
And it's funny too because I did an event recently where somebody was like, my best friend loves hiking. I'm going to give this to her. Like, I'm more of an indoor girl. I was like, oh no, this is also for you. This might be more for you than for her.
So, are you a
Mhm.
hiking girl?
Yeah. I have become more of an outdoor girl ever since I took up tennis in adulthood.
Mhm.
So that was like
Okay.
8 years ago now. I have always identified as like an indoor reader writer kind of girl, but I tried tennis as
Mhm.
a way to just do something that scared me, something that had zero pressure
Oh.
writing on it so that I could fail freely, which is always, as a perfectionist, like something I struggle with. So I took it up. My husband and I were the only two signed up for the 3 times a week class, and so we're like, "Well, we better show up because if we don't show up, the coach is gonna be there for nothing." So we did it. Fast forward 8 years later, we're still obsessed and, like, actually pretty good now, but playing tennis in the Texas heat has made me realize, like, "Oh,
Yes.
just wear clothes that are appropriate for it, and the sweating isn't so bad." And also, like, if you're playing in 100-degree heat and sweating, like it makes just sitting outside or walking in the heat a little more tolerable. So in those respects, I'm way
Mhm.
more of an outdoor girl than I used to be. I love a good nature hike. I'm obsessed with birds thanks to my favorite game, Wingspan, which I play on my Switch all the time.
Wingspan, I love it.
Yes, I love it. But no to snakes, no to bugs. I don't think I would be good in a tent. Um, I love my own food choices. I'm an overpacker, so I
Mhm.
definitely relate to Sadie in all of those ways. But, the appreciation of nature, I feel
Yes.
like I was able to genuinely give that to Thorn from my own experience.
And when I was reading this, I was like, I am so a Sadie. I used to have a sign on my patio that said, "Yes, I'm outdoorsy, as long as outdoorsy means sitting on the patio having a margarita."
Yep.
That's my version of outdoorsy.
I love it.
Hmm.
Yes, that's amazing.
Okay, so we know you got your outdoorsy kick from tennis, but did you also read Eat, Pray, Love or Wild? Like, because I know they're in there, and
No.
I'm like, I haven't read either. I think I watched the movie Eat, Pray, Love, but I
Yeah.
don't. I think I have the book. I think I bought it when everyone else did. I'm just curious if you did because I haven't read either of them.
I actually haven't read them either. My editor wanted me to put them
Oh
in.
my gosh.
She said, I feel like this would just like really turn her character up a notch as just like somebody who is going all in on like a self-discovery journey.
Mhm.
So I took her word for it that
Yeah.
those would be appropriate inspiration for Sadie. And so I haven't actually read those,
Oh,
but maybe I should now.
I thought it was relatable when the little free library. I'm like, this totally
Yes.
tracks. Like, I feel like that was perfect.
I read Wild all the way through, and then I
Mhm.
read Eat, Pray, Love, like 3/4 of it. Then I was like, nope, I'm done. I think I got to the Eat, Pray, and then not the Love. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So
Yeah.
we all identify as Sadies, it sounds like. And
Yes.
Yes.
the first
Yeah.
thing that got me about her was her favorite perfume was Victor and Rolf Flower Bomb. And I'm like, that's my favorite perfume.
That's
Is it
mine.
really?
It's
Yep.
so good. It's really good. I'm like, I threw it in there because that's what I love, but also like, I just felt like the words themselves looked nice on the page, and like the flower bomb
Hmm.
also just kind of felt fitting for the book.
Yes.
So if everybody discovers this perfume
Yeah.
because of the book, like, and they make like a little travel size one, yeah, it's my favorite. I discovered it a few years ago, and yeah, I wear it all the time. So that's fun that you love it too.
Yeah, no, I'm still wearing Clinique Happy Heart, not Clinique
Oh,
Happy,
I
which
thought
is
happy. I
different.
was like, oh my gosh.
No, not Happy. There's Happy Heart, which is different, and I that's what I still wear on the rare occasion that I remember to put on perfume.
At least you
So,
Yeah.
didn't bust out CK1.
Oh,
oh my
oh
gosh,
my gosh.
CK1, right?
Brings me right back.
Yeah. Oh
Oh,
my
Yep.
I
gosh,
loved it.
seriously.
It
I know.
smelled good. My best friend in high school, he always wore it. And
It
I'm like,
did.
oh, that reminds me of my
Mhm.
friend.
So your book is set in the Sierras. Have
Yes.
you ever been to the Sierras?
I have not. As soon as I got the idea for this book, almost my next thought, because my tennis coach gave me the idea. When I showed up
Hmm.
to the courts, I had just like my giant backpack, and I had a duffel bag full of clothes. I had a snack. I had my work tote. I had probably like coffee, water, everything. And he was just like, Kayla, I would love to see you sign up for a backpacking trip where you only had one backpack and you couldn't choose your own food. And I said, that sounds like my nightmare. I need to write a book about that. And I did. It's almost immediately after that, I was like, does this mean I need to like actually experience this for myself? Because I was not kidding when I said it sounded like my nightmare. So the other aspect of it too was the slow writing aspect. When we sold the book before I had written it, and so I was on a deadline and
Oh.
a tight turnaround timeline. So had I had all the time in the world, I actually maybe would have put myself through it. But I kind of felt like, relating so much to Sadie, and as a Texan who grew up like in the hill country,
Hmm.
all the camping, all the bugs. I can relate enough vicariously that
Mhm.
between doing that and a bunch of research, I felt like I could hopefully pull off the world building in that area. But this is also why I made up my entire setting. I based it on a bunch of different national parks instead of just one, because I wanted them to be able to go to certain landmarks to just kind of break up the landscape. And there was not just
Mhm.
one specific national park that hit all the notes in that order that I wanted the plot to take. So, um,
Mhm.
it might have looked a little different had I gone myself, but for a fictional national park, I feel like um, was able to take some liberties and just hopefully knock it out with research and imagination.
Mhm.
So,
It came through like you had been there. I've never been there
Mhm.
myself, so maybe
Mhm.
if someone has,
thank
but
you.
I thought it came through fantastically and
Thank
captured all the
you.
different like scenes and levels of hiking.
I totally agree because I feel like to the not outdoorsy ones of us,
Mm-hmm.
it could be like, "Oh, no, is this going to be a wild? Is it gonna be a lot
Right.
about the" and I feel like you had a really good balance because I know this is a rom-com, but I think
Mm.
it was very plot driven. Because like, I feel like
Yes.
people rain on stuff and they're like, "Oh my gosh," they're all like, romance, but no, romance is this is such a like, I love this stuff, like, it has everything in it. You've got
Thank you.
it's so funny, there's so many funny moments, so many relatable moments, like, I would be a
Yes.
hot mess on there. I also would be stubborn and never admit that I had a blister if I had told whatever.
Yes.
I would have been the overpacker. I mean, all these things. And the banter's good. Like the romance is so good in this, but it's
Mhm.
so much more than that.
Thank
It's like
you.
the whole thing's entertaining. Like sometimes, you read and the tension, you're like, just come on, let's get to something, let's get a kiss. But the whole thing was just so fun. Like there wasn't a moment where I was like, well, let's skip ahead. I was fully invested and
Mhm.
transforming myself with her because I'd rather transform myself through her
Yeah.
than next to her on those trails.
I love that. Thank you so much for all of that. Like, I love, the tagline that I came up with at one point that I've been using recently is like, "Brave the wild from the comfort of your couch" on June
Yes,
16th.
that's perfect.
I love that.
And but thank
Perfect.
you so much, and
Mhm,
it's important to me that my characters have depth and, like,
Mhm.
real human emotions and that there's more to it than just a surface level love story. One thing I love to do with
mhm,
any of my books is that they come into each other's life at the perfect moment to change
mhm,
everything for the other person. Like they're the perfect person to unlock some new perspective or something new. And so it's only a 2-week backpacking trip, but they affect each other in big pivotal ways, and I just really I'm
mhm.
happy that you appreciated all that, and I had so much fun. I laughed a lot too, like, while writing this book. I probably made myself laugh more while writing this one than any of my books yet, so I'm glad that you thought it was funny too.
I did so cute. Such good just all the I liked all the characters. They're all so
Thank
different
you.
and like you said, they all have depth.
Yes.
Like there's not
Mhm.
a surface level character. Like even the quote unquote like
Mhm.
problematic people, there's layers. There's layers there
Thank
in
And
you.
that was
history. So,
it's kind of a big book of self-exploration, and it's not just
Yes.
mhm,
Sadie and Thorn that have the self-exploration and that are coming
Yes.
to terms with who they are, and it's all of the side
mhm,
characters too.
Yeah.
So it was
mhm,
such good, like you said, world building where you're creating these
Thank
characters
you.
that are some of them are out of their depth and some of them know exactly what they're doing, but they all work
Mhm.
together as a cohesive unit, even though they're so
mhm,
different. And
mhm,
Thank
it
you.
was just it was
Yeah.
really enjoyable, not just for the main characters, but the side characters as well.
That means a lot
mhm,
to me too, because I always try to look at my side characters. Like if they're gonna be in the book, they need to have a role. They need to feel like
mhm,
they could be the main character of their own story, even if they're just there for like a paragraph or if they have a whole subplot about them. I want them to feel like
mhm,
fully realized people. And I just One of my favorite things about writing a book, which is what makes revision so hard later, is just I love it when a plot and subplots come together in a cohesive way where like you could make a whole like murder board with string, like tying them together in like various ways where they complement and like echo off of each other almost, not just for like the
Mhm.
two main characters, but for like best friend Mateo and even
Mhm.
he and Sadie,
Mhm.
there's just a bunch of different ways I wanted to explore the theme of risk and trust and self
Mhm.
discovery. And one thing I love too is just that even though Sadie and Thorne are such opposites on paper, a part of their character arcs just involve risk, like what is risk in a similar
Mhm.
way,
Mhm.
without saying too much. But I just love the magic of that kind of writing. It's one of my favorite things when just everything just comes together and you're like, oh, I know what to do next. And I hope this makes everybody shine, not just like my leads. So thank you
Yeah.
Mhm. And I had written
for
down here that the big themes that I found was want
mm,
versus need
mm,
and pushing your limits and the complacency of comfort, and that
yes.
you can be different and very much alike with core values. So even though they might seem
Mm,
complete opposites, as long as you have the same core values, I think that
yeah,
is a make or break for a relationship too.
Yeah.
absolutely. I love
Well,
that.
I think too, like you were talking about, you stepped out with tennis,
Hmm.
what do you say, 8 years ago, and then now you love it and you're really
Yes.
good
Mhm.
at it. And it does make you wonder because even reading the story and like how we see Sadie transform. Now, we
Hmm.
don't know that she would ever choose to do that again, but it's the more she does
Right.
it, the more she's appreciated, the more
Mhm.
she's learning about herself. We're seeing her transformation. But at the
Yeah.
same time, there might be like, I don't know, like, right now I joke like, "Oh, I would hate that." Well, I actually don't know, I haven't tried. Maybe I
Right.
don't sign up for a 12-night, like, thing, but
Hmm.
there's smaller things just to I think it's a good message to get out there and try stuff, and I'm in my 40s, I got divorced a few years ago, and, I've had a lot of change in my life, and in
Hmm.
some ways, there is that gift of, like, I had to start over and think, "What do I want?" And that's part of, like, how Lena and I have our
Yes.
podcast because we're like, "What do
Yep.
we wanna do? Well, what do we want? Okay, we wanna do this, so let's do it." And, a few Mambo taxis later, it was set, and but, that sort of thing, I think it challenge I think it's such a good message because, like, while that might not be the thing, I'm kinda like, "Well, what do I want? What have I not tried that I
Yeah.
want to go just even if it's for a couple of hours, you know? Like."
I love that. I think it's so important and exciting, to try new things, especially if they scare you. I think in our society, especially if you were raised as a
Mhm,
perfectionist, overachiever, like some of us, we can be afraid to put ourselves in positions that are uncomfortable or where we might feel embarrassed or where we might utterly fail. And I just feel like, you know, there's a lot of beauty in embracing your humanity and letting yourself try new things and say, you know what, maybe I'm not good at that, but I tried it. I was brave. And yeah, like tennis specifically, like it has opened up a whole new part of my identity to my personality that I never knew
mhm.
existed.
So cool.
Yeah, like my tennis coach, he's the first person who ever told me, like, you are athletic, like you're coordinated. I'm like, "What?
Aw.
Like, could you say that again, please?" Because I lived my whole
Aw.
life thinking I was terrible at sports because I
Mhm.
did basketball in 8th grade and, like, apologized every time I bumped into somebody, and, like, I was not cut out for that. But it made me think that I was just not athletic. So you never know, like,
Mhm,
what you can, like, sincerely try, and if you come at it with kind of an open mind and say, this hasn't been part of my story, but maybe it could be. The story might just be I tried it and I hated it, but hey, that's a story too. But the story might also be like, I tried it. I'm going to keep trying it. I can see value in this.
mhm,
Then you might end up 8 years later with a whole new community and like actually being an active person,
mhm,
like there's just, it's really cool. I feel like to like, especially as you get older and when you're in your ruts and routines, just like to to look for new things that could open up enjoyment in your life.
And I think that's 100% probably where a lot of us are in life, that point where I know for me and LJ, we both have
Yeah.
kids that will be seniors this coming school year.
Oh,
And then my daughter will be a senior the year after that. So we're like
amazing.
literally entering into that phase where the world is our oyster
Yes.
and
Yeah.
finding
It's true.
what's out there.
That's amazing. And yeah, I'll be there soon. Mine's about to be a sophomore. So, and he's our only. So I'm like, what?
Hmm.
What's life gonna be like? So, but that's awesome. I hope you guys both,
That's yeah.
you'll have to let me know if you try something new. I want to hear about it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So I have to ask, in your acknowledgments, you
mm.
said that you live down the street from Sarah Damoff.
Yes, I love her. So not you might define street a little. I took liberties with the word street. So she's in Richardson, I think, and I'm in Denton. So like if the
Okay.
street is I
Okay.
35, but it's close enough that we're able to meet up for brunch or maybe able to meet up for coffee and hang out. Most
Hmm.
recently, we were both sent to the same independent bookseller conference. Our publisher sent us both there, but it's one of these weird situations where it's like it's not really for the public, so we don't know the whole lineup. She texted me at like 10
Mhm.
p.m. She's like,
Hmm.
"Wait, I saw your Instagram stories. Are you in San Antonio?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I'm in San Antonio." It's like, "Please come to my room. I'm already in my pajamas. We're gonna have like a little midnight hangout." And so, yeah, she is
That's so
lovely.
fun.
I love Sarah.
She came on our podcast.
Yeah. And we've met her a few
Oh,
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
how
And she's just so
fun!
sweet.
Hmm.
Talk about an insightful, thoughtful person. She is just,
Hmm.
she's a gem. Just kindness is the word I think of when I think of Sarah, and just thoughtful, and it comes through
Hmm.
in her writing all the time. So, yeah, I love that she was on here. I'll have to
Yes.
go back and find that episode.
Yeah. It was a while ago. But no, but we
Yeah,
did
it
get to
was.
meet her. We went and saw her when she came and spoke at Neighbor Books. And
Uh,
then well, you got to see her at the Texas Book Festival.
Yes.
I didn't
yeah.
because I went and saw Claire Sanama because we had to divide and conquer.
Mm,
So, yeah.
that's so
But yeah,
fun.
it's so cool. Yeah.
I saw that their acknowledgments and I was like, that's so fun.
Oh,
And
yes.
then you also say in your acknowledgments that you're usually hanging out with a cup of coffee and curled up with a cat. So
Hmm.
tell us, how many cats do you have?
Which we talked about this before. Oh, yes. I
Yeah.
need coffee too.
I have my
It's like
coffee
a
right
Dr.
here.
Pepper. Anyway.
It's decaf, but it still counts. I like it, the taste of it. So yeah, I always have
Hmm.
coffee. I have 4 cats. We had 2 of them, and then we got a third one. We had 2 back in 2018, got a third one in 2019, and then 3 was enough. My parents live on a ranch down in Central Texas, and they have just a bunch of ranch cats around that kinda eat a bunch of mice and protect from critters
Mhm.
or whatever. But they had the tiniest baby
Hmm.
kitty, and he was just like this little puffball with
Aw.
these bright blue eyes, and I said, "We have to take this cat. I don't want him to get eaten. He needs to not be an outdoor cat." So we adopted a 4th cat, and his name is Pepper, and he is the cutest kitty
Aw.
you've ever seen. I'll have to find a picture to send you, or you can probably find him pretty easily on my Instagram. But
Yes.
he's bigger now, but
Yeah.
you would never know that he was born on a ranch. He is just like pampered now and has thrown off the whole like cat ecosystem in our house because they were not very welcoming to a 4th cat. So now we have to keep 2 of them in one room and 2 of them in the rest of the house. And sometimes
Hmm.
we switch them around, but it's worth it because they all have their sweet little personalities. He has
Yeah.
forever complicated our cat situation around here, but he's cute. So
Always.
yeah.
They're always worth it.
We also have to know, what is your coffee? Like, I mean, this book I wanna try all the coffee in there. I wanna know hers. I wanna try from the guys that
Yeah.
have their coffee company.
The coffee
Like,
bros.
what do you recommend?
Yeah. So my favorite, I love Onyx Coffee. I gave them a shout out in this book. A lot of things in my books I tend to make up, like my references, but I felt like I wanted to give them an actual shout out. The Coffee Bros in the book, they have their
Love
own made
it.
up company, but
Mhm.
the Onyx Coffee, it's just so good. They have so many different flavors. Like I say flavors, I'm not like a
Okay.
flavored coffee kind of person, but it's just like when you make it a certain way, you can just tell that, like, I don't know if you're
Mhm.
coffee people, but sometimes it's described as like notes of cherry and lemon, or like notes
Yeah.
of juniper. I'm not good enough to like say this tastes like that, but I do think that
Yeah.
their coffees, you can tell a distinction between all the different kinds. They do an amazing advent calendar box every year where they'll send you like
Ooh,
24
Ooh.
different kinds of coffee to try. It's so good.
Dang.
There's enough for like 2 servings. So
I'm
my
like, I need
husband
to
and
write
I
that
would
down
just
for
have
my Christmas
I
list.
know.
yes, Onyx, Onyx, and their packaging is always beautiful. So yeah, they're my favorite. I make a lot of coffee at home. I used to do a lot of pour overs, just like Sadie, because it really
Mhm.
extracts the
Mhm.
flavor. But I have lately been doing a lot more just with my espresso machine. I do, I just make lattes at home or like a decaf Americano in the afternoon. I really just like the taste of it. There have been seasons in my life where
Mhm.
I've had to go caffeine free. And so now I usually just do
Oh,
like 1 cup in the morning and sip on it all day. But
yeah.
their coffee is so good. It's like
Nice.
even when it's cold, it tastes good. So I can drink it all day long and it's still
Okay.
good. So I um I was a
Love it.
barista for a while back, gosh, before I started writing. And so my love of coffee started definitely in college. And it's funny too, because I was thinking about how like The Great Outdoors is my 5th published book. It's the 3rd romance, but I have 2
Yes.
young adult sci-fi survival books before that. And
Mhm.
in every single book, I always think about like what makes a Kayla book. I think you'll always find coffee in all of my books, and you'll always find like people marveling at the night sky or at like sunsets.
Ooh.
Even in my book set on a
Love
space
it.
station, there's coffee. So yeah.
I love it. That's so fun.
That is
Oh
fun.
my
I
goodness.
do want to go
Yeah.
back because now I have your romance books. I actually thought whenever you were giving your talk at McKinney Literary Fest that your young adult book sounded really good too. I was like, okay, I need to go
Yeah.
Thank
find those.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's such a different era for me right now because like most people know me from my romance
Mhm.
books these days. Because when you write for a young adult audience, they eventually become adults. And so they kind of
Yeah.
age out.
Right?
And it's been my first book came out in 2017 and then the next one was 2018. And so it's been a little while since those were like front and center on people's radar. And a lot of people
Mhm.
just don't know they exist, but they were so fun to write. They just really engaged the logic puzzle loving side of my brain.
Mhm.
To write just these like twisty science fiction survival books with big world building and a mystery in the second one. They're unrelated, they're standalones, but yeah, they're different in a lot of ways. They're a little bit more like lyrical prose, I would say, and a little less like,
Mhm.
they're not focused on the romance for sure. Yeah. Also, don't
Mhm.
think they're extremely like science heavy. I would always call them contemporary books set against a sci-fi backdrop. So they're still very
Okay.
plot driven and very
Okay.
emotional, like about the characters. And I feel like Dawson's Creek will always work its way into like everything I write too. The ensemble cast elements of
Love
that,
it.
like those really come through, I feel like, in my first 2 books.
After reading Great Outdoors, I was like, okay, my favorite rom-com authors, like Abby Jimenez. I was like, this might be like up there with my favorites
Oh,
now.
thank
Mhm.
you so
So
much. That makes my day,
like
really.
it was literally so
It's
good. It was really
Yeah.
good.
Thank you.
When I have to
I'm
say, I am a rereader, and this would definitely go on my reread list. So I love
Oh.
to reread books that, like, once I've read them, especially rom-coms, because I love to rewatch them. And so I'm like, let's go
Mhm.
visit my friends, Sadie and Thorn. Let's see what's up,
I
even though
love
we know what's
that.
up, but still, I
I
do.
absolutely love that. I feel like if I were to reread, I'm not really much of a rereader myself just because I'm slow, as we've mentioned, but I had to
And you're
read
busy.
and I'm busy. I'm busy. If I had to reread any of my books over and over again, the first one that comes to mind, other than The Great Outdoors, would be The Lodge, just because it is like the coziest thing I've ever written. It's set at a ski resort and it's got like twinkle lights and fun like stargazing and all that. I'm like, I had to read that book probably 7 or 8 times when I was writing it. And still, I feel like I could
Yeah.
slip into it as if it was somebody else's book, which I think is rare when it's something you've written, just because of the cozy
Yeah.
vibes. So, and there's been enough distance since the
I
last
love
time I
it.
read it. It's been at least 2 years.
I like to do Christmas in July. And so I'm saving
Mm,
that one for my whenever it's
that's
so
so
hot here in
fun.
Texas, I like to be thinking about winter.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that's going to be
I
my
It's
know.
my Christmas in July book.
it's That's so
I love
funny
it.
because yeah, I wrote it mostly during, like, the infernal Texas summer, so it was very much a wishful thinking book for me, and it's actually, like it's not even a holiday book, so it's set in March, but it's still extremely
Ooh.
snowy, so I think it'll satisfy
Hmm.
the cold wishful thinking vibes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
In July, we're all wishing for that.
Yes.
Right? Oh my gosh, for real.
And you have quite the busy schedule after release date. You're going to be at several
I
different
do.
locations talking about the great outdoors. I know we're going to go see you at Half Price Books at
Oh,
the
yay!
flagship Dallas
Yes.
location.
Fun.
Yes, we will.
And you're going to be there with Ashley Poston. Yeah.
Poston,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, we'll have to say hi.
She's great. I'm so excited for this tour lineup. So I'll start down in Georgetown, like Austin area on release day, and then go to Waco at Fabled, and then Houston with Nana
Mhm.
Oh, so
Kumar,
fun.
and then up to Dallas with Ashley Poston, and then in Denton, my hometown Barnes and Noble's hosting me with Lana Ferguson. So
Oh,
it's a
nice.
pretty full
Very
week,
Fun.
cool.
but I have a Disney cruise to look forward to in
Yeah.
July. So after all the work and
Ooh.
Yay.
peopling, I'll be like nose in book, look at ocean.
Yes. Oh, that would be so fun. That would be
Yeah.
That
fun.
will be fun. That'll
Mhm.
that's always good to have something to look forward to. Like that.
Yes.
Okay, if I
Yeah.
can just do this,
Yeah.
especially
Well,
I'm
I'm
more introverted, so it's like, okay, I have to have my plan.
Yes.
yes. I'm even really excited too
Yes.
because even for next week, like for the next week, I don't know when the podcast will come out, but next week, as of recording date,
Yep.
is my launch week. And so I have booked
Yes.
I've booked a fancy dinner at one of the restaurants that features in the book, in the great outdoors. And then
Mhm.
I I'm so excited because while we're in Houston, we booked this like breakfast with an astronaut thing at NASA. And so we're gonna go on like a
That's so
little
That's
like
cool.
so cool.
NASA tour. I am so excited. Yeah. I'm like, okay, yeah, my book is coming out, but also NASA, astronaut. I can't wait.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Um so I love to just like work in other like family things because my family's coming along to all the stops with me. So it's gonna be like a little mini vacation with some work sprinkled
Okay, was
in.
that them at the McKinney Literary
Yes.
Festival? Like,
Yeah,
because I
they're
was like, I
hanging
bet that's
out.
her husband and son.
I did the
They
same thing.
look the
Because he
same
was
because my
filming.
yes, yeah, yeah. He filmed for me, but I still haven't like gone back and looked. Yeah, my phone is constantly running out of space. So I was like, could you film for me since you got a brand new phone? They came to
Awesome.
support, and my sweet son, he was like, "You did such a good job. I was very interested." I was like, "Oh, thank you. You're sweet."
That's so
Oh,
sweet.
So
that
yeah,
is so
they're the
sweet.
best, and I don't. I don't do well driving myself because I got rear-ended twice within like 14 months. And so I have like high highway anxiety, even just as a passenger. So my
Understandable.
sweet husband is like chauffeuring me all over Texas next week.
That's
Oh, I love that
awesome.
though.
Yeah, so we're excited. It'll be some good family time.
I'm just so glad that we got to meet you and
I
that
know.
you were willing to come on and talk with us, especially because, like,
Oh man.
you're a local author. We live in McKinney, you're in Denton, and
Yes.
it's just fun and just so excited to be like, hey, we've met her. She's really cool. Her books are
Oh.
awesome. So it's just fun.
Y'all are great. I'm so happy we got to meet too, and it means so much to me that you've already read the book, and that you invited me on here. Like it's so fun. Like I only met you guys like a week and a half ago, I think, and so for you
I
to,
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never take for granted, people buying my book, let alone like reading it, because I know everybody has a ton of things to read or reread. And so it just means the world to me that you would read it and so quickly and just ask me such thoughtful questions. I had so much fun chatting with y'all.
Good.
And I will
All right.
say, as a last opening or closing remark, you had some Bible references in your
Oh,
acknowledgments.
yes.
The
Yes.
Philippians 4,
And then,
4 through
Mm,
9, and Matthew 6, 25 through 34. And
hmm
I looked those up and I was like, those are perfect. I'm an anxious person. So
hmm
mhm.
the Matthew one was, all about don't
Yes.
be anxious.
hmm
And I was like,
Is
those
that
are
the look
just
at the
so
birds of the
perfect.
air? I
Mhm.
think that's look at the birds of the air. Do they
Yeah.
not
So I'm like,
toil?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
mhm.
Yes. Yes.
So I
It's
was like,
interesting.
I am going to keep those close to me now.
I'm so happy that felt timely for you. I do that with every
Mhm.
book. I try to find a fitting Bible verse. I am a Christian. My characters are not necessarily.
Mhm.
And I think, you know, my books are the sweet spot of just like, they come from me. I'm a Christian. They aren't
Mhm.
necessarily like meant to be religious books at all, but I hope that people will have a more hopeful and joyful outlook after reading them. And it's important to me to
Mhm.
always just share my little bit of perspective in my acknowledgments, just with a line or two of verses that I feel like complement both the book and like things that I personally have been going through while writing it. And the past couple
Mhm.
years were full of highly anxious moments for myself as well, which is one reason I can write Sadie's
Mhm.
panic attack so well. And, see also my terrible rear endings that caused a bunch just
Yeah.
spiraling anxious thoughts, and a lot of thoughts about
Mhm.
like what is in my control, what is out of my control. And so I thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, I'm glad that you appreciated those
Mhm.
verses being mentioned in there.
And I
So,
Mhm.
usually don't
yeah.
read acknowledgments. And I was like, your
Oh, wow.
acknowledgments were amazing. I was like, I
Yeah.
Thank
love these.
you. Thank you. That's
So
amazing.
that was just a good reminder
Yeah.
to go read those acknowledgments.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm glad that you happened to read
Mhm.
mine. That's really fun to me. Yeah. Well, thank
Mhm.
you. Well,
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy the
And
last 30 pages.
I'm about to go read them right now.
Yes.
So,
Aw, y'all are the best, and I can't wait to see you again soon, in just a couple weeks at the event.
yeah, just a week and a half or so. Yeah.
yes, yes. So I guess
Perfect.
until next time, guys.
All right.
Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to More Than a Book Club podcast. We are recorded and produced in McKinney, Texas.
Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and follow us on Instagram and TikTok.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.